Hello, religion. It's not a theme for social conversations, and I really thought about, is it safe? Will it bring us any good to talk about religion? And I thought about not doing this video here now, but at the same time, something is telling me that this needs to be said. And if no one else is going to say it, I am going to say it. And I'm not here to be good, I'm not perfect. I'm not here to please anyone. If it helps somebody, one person, that's good enough for me. What? Good or bad? I don't know. I think this is not good or bad. It just is. And if it offends people, if it makes people think bad of me, I don't care, because what I'm saying here is it comes from my feelings and my intuition. It is what it is. Like it or not, this is the way I feel. As a person, as an authority over myself, this is the way I feel, like it or not. Face the fact. Don't deny that I feel this way, or that my intuition is telling me this, and that this time I'm trusting my intuition. So many things to say. Hard to organize my thoughts. Reading a book once about toxic people. An author said, after being abused by some narcissist or psychopath, if you have your spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs, time to get in contact with your spiritual beliefs again, no matter which belief it is. And I said, oh, that's good. This is so fantastic. In what world, I wonder, this author lives when she wrote those lines? A world of fairy tale? Another rabbit hole? Oh, as if it was easy. When you're feeling pain, you're lying in your bed devastated, pain all over your body, you're crying loud as a baby as you never cried before. Oh yes, I think I'm gonna turn back to my spirituality now and pray to God or the higher power that I believe. Do you think I was thinking about God? Feeling the hurt and the pain and the stress and the chemicals in my brain? You got addicted to oxytocin, serotonin, then you have cortisol in your brain too, you have stress peptides, you have a depression, then it is a lot to cope, my friends. And then, turn back to your spirituality. If you can, this is a good time to get in contact with your spirituality. And you think I was at peace with my spirituality? I was like Dracula at the end of that movie directed by Francis Ford Coppola. When Dracula says, "Where is my God? He has forsaken me." Do you think I was in good terms with God after being abused successively by two narcissists? A girl discarded me. 6 months later, a PhD professor ruins my 4-year efforts. And then I see no end to narcissistic abuse. Do you think it was, oh God? No way. I felt betrayed by God. I felt disillusioned with my faith. The violence and the reality of learning about narcissists was a big, big blow to my idea of the world being a safe place to live. And then I discovered that narcissists are in positions of power, maybe even in the churches, running churches. Where is God in the middle of all this? I was raised a Catholic. I played guitar in the church. I was baptized in the Holy Spirit. That happens when somebody prays for you via the imposition of their hands, and the Holy Spirit, you feel the power of the Holy Spirit falling in you, and there is no way to describe it. I thought about describing this to you. That's like an electric water that runs through your body and goes into different parts of your body according to the person. This electricity, warm electricity like water, stopped in my heart. I was in a room full of people praying, and I was baptized by the Holy Spirit. I was 16 years, 17 years, was in my teens. So I cannot deny for myself. There is no way that I can tell anyone that I doubt that God exists. Now, it's not business of mine what you believe. If you're watching this, it's not business of mine. Take it as just an example of a survivor who has a religious belief. That's enough. I'm not trying to convert, to convince. It's not business of mine, as it's not business of anybody else about getting involved in the religious part of my life. That's something very private, and that's why we don't discuss it in social conversations, because it brings only problems, social tension, drama. And after that happened to me, the abuses, I cried. My mom would talk to me about God, and I said, God betrayed me. He abandoned me when I most needed him. And he is now sitting in all his glory in paradise. He doesn't even care about me. So let him be there. I'm going to go no contact with this God who abandons his sons into the hands of narcissists, and he doesn't even care what happens. I don't believe that God helps me. And I don't want to pray anymore. I read that in the Second World War, a lot of faithless people. Violence does this. Violence breaks something in people, breaks people's faith. one of the effects of violence is that you lose faith. I cannot lose faith because of that experience with the Holy Spirit. But God is in the sky. He is very happy in His mighty power, and He has forsaken me. So I don't want to have contact with Him. That's the stage I'm in as a survivor. Now you tell me get in contact with your spirituality. It's not like that. Things are very ugly. Do you think I'm gonna talk to a God that abandoned me into the hands of narcissists? No. I feel betrayed by everyone and everything. I played to God. I served the cross, as Dracula says in that movie. And what did I get? Abandonment. Now, today, because of my last video, a subscriber of the Jehovah's Witness, he probably saw it, and he unsubscribed from my channel, and he left the negative, the dislike button. And it is interesting to observe the behavior that the ones who claim to represent God or some higher power, the ones who claim that they are offering you love, just because you disagree with them, they unsubscribed. That's not the problem, because I didn't want that in my life. But he didn't, the person or the creature didn't need to leave the dislike, put the dislike button there, because he's contradicting the very faith that he professed to have. I have the right to disagree. And then the mask falls at the first disagreement. That's why I keep telling you that these churches, these cults have pretty psychopathic traits. If you don't agree with them, fuck you. It's a big fuck you, my friend. If you don't submit, I'm gonna start talking about the experience of Jehovah's Witness in my life, but then I'm gonna talk about other religions. My mother has a sister. This sister is Jehovah's Witness since forever. I was a child, and this sister, her name is Gilda. She told to my mother, I'm going to visit you. My mom spent the whole day preparing the house, cooking, preparing the bedroom, because this Gilda, my mother's sister, is very rich, and we were very poor, living in a house made out of wood. And my mom cleaned the house so that at least it could be clean and good looking for those rich people. They were snobbish all their lives, snobbish people. And then you think that Gilda came to our house? No, she never appeared. And then my mom was working at the hospital, and then Gilda went to the hospital. And then my mom told her, now you come to see me? You didn't even have to come now. Why did you come here now? that I'm at work. You can go away right now. I don't want to see you anymore. I cleaned the house for you. I cooked for you. I prepared the bedroom for you. You said you were going to pay me a visit and you never showed up. And why don't they never show up? Because we are not Jehovah's Witness. We are not of their church. We are not of their kind of people. Rich, snobbish, feeling superior to everybody. Another day the whole family came. Gilda, her husband and her 2 sons. You don't have any NBA? We would like to watch NBA. You don't have cable TV? No, we don't have cable TV. And then I could see her sons walking around the street. You know, they couldn't stand my house, being at my house. They wanted to get out of there. They were restless. You don't sign cable TV. You don't sign magazines. You came for my house to watch television, you motherfucker? Or you came to my house to pay a visit to us and to my mom? Jehovah's Witnesses are materialist people. Extremely materialist. I never heard them talking about anything good but materialism. Cars. Another theme. Only talking about cars. I was a child when they paid us this kind of visit. Talking about cars, about cable TV, about materialism. Let's fast forward to my grandpa's funeral. One of Gilda's sons married, and this girl appeared to my grandfather's funeral. I didn't know her. They say, well, that's the girl that married the guy. Supposed to be my cousin, I guess. I said hi, and she looked at me, and she saw me through. She ignored me, as if I was some kind of dirty piece of shit. At my grandfather's funeral, I was already sad, and she ignored my hi. I said hello, hi. She passed like seeing me through, like I was some kind of danger, something to be avoided, maybe for being poor. And then Gilda's husband was wearing a kind of t-shirt written Italy in it. And he didn't talk to me. But you know, when he saw me, do you think he talked to me? Oh, I'm very sorry for your loss, for the loss of your grandfather. How are you? How are you doing? This Jehovah Witness who claims to be in a religion that talks about good, that has good beliefs. Is this shirt made in Italy? Where was this made? Did you have this? This shirt is imported. I guess that's the word. Is this shirt imported? Did you import this? Wanting to know about my shirt. Materialist. Materialism. That's all I can remember of my experiences with Jehovah's Witness people. And Gilda avoids coming here, coming to see her sisters, my mother and the other brothers that she has. She avoided going to her father's house all her life. She remained living in another town far away from us. And then you learn about Jehovah's Witness, and that's what they teach. That you are supposed to remain close friends only with the people inside the church. You deny your friends, you deny your family, you deny everything because they are unbelievers or something. That's psychopathic. That's isolating people to be brainwashed, easily brainwashed. And if you disagree with them, it's a big fuck you to you. You are poor, you are seen through, you are ignored, you are abused. This is psychopathic tactics. And then they think I don't notice this. They think I don't feel angry for this hypocrisy. And then there's Protestantism. My mother was really kind of depressed because I was abused by a woman, and then my PhD ruined my 4-year efforts. And she said, I'm not happy in this Catholic church. She says, I went to the church to see the marriage of my cousin, and a woman in the church said, you know, you cannot sit there because that's reserved for the family. You have to sit in another place. My mom went to church only to be humiliated and be angered. I said, you know, Mom, and my mom said, I had a great grandmother. She used to be a Presbyterian. I'm gonna go to the Presbyterian church and gonna see what it's like. And I said to her, Mom, if it is something you like, if it is something that's gonna do good to you at this moment, you go. My father didn't like the idea because he was raised Catholic either. But I told my mom, you go. And she found lots of comfort there. Everybody treats her very good, very attentive. But that's her. That's not me. I don't want contact with these people because they are pushy. They love bomb you like the Jehovah's Witness. They give you compliments to put your defenses down. They think I'm an idiot. They think I'm gonna let myself be love bombed again like narcissists did to me. Oh, you play so good. You are so intelligent. Why don't you come to play guitar to us in our church? That's what they want from me. They want to use me. You think I'm interested in serving? Especially now, serving a God that abandoned me? And serving as objects for you to get rich on my back? Using my efforts? They are pushy. They come into my house. I say, no, I don't want to pray. You pray with my mom. And they come and pray. You know, if they come and enter, they don't have boundaries. If you don't set, and if you set boundaries, you sound like an abusive asshole. They manipulate, they are pushy. I don't like this. Love bombing, manipulation, brainwashing, to get you sucked in, to recruit you. I saw videos of Scientology. It's the same thing. In the beginning, they treat you like, oh, you are marvelous. You are the best thing in my... That's the idealization phase. That's psychopathic. That's things that con artists do. I don't trust religions now. I don't trust them. And then you have Catholicism. When I played for the church, we did a great mass. We played the whole band in the church. Then the father, do you know what the father did to us? In the front of the whole congregation. When the mass finished, he came and said, he shouted to us. He said, the music is It's gotta be at the service of the church and not the church in the service of music. And then the leader of the band went in the back and he cried and we had to comfort him, and I was kind of numb. I couldn't believe it. After all the effort and the time, it's a big fuck you if you do good to the church or not. What you do. The father wanted all the profits from the feast that the community here was doing for the church. He wanted lots of profits. He said no. And my father, he works for the church, you know, cooking meat and helping cooking things. They are an Italian family. They cook very good. They make very good food. And my father knows how to cook well meat, you know. And he wanted the profits. He didn't want to help. Everybody has to work to priests, and the priests, they cross their arms and just complain. Oh, they're doing wrong. We're not gonna sell beer here, and the profits gotta come to me. And he goes only to the rich. He pays visits. He prays only to rich people, and the poor people, fuck all the poor people. And then 3 days ago, they made a big feast for people with cancer. And they did this thing in a place that is owned by the church. But do you think the priest came? The priest didn't show up. Why? Because the prophets were going to the hospitals that treat patients with cancer. The prophets were not going to him or to the church. Exploring people, using people, ignoring people, abusing people. I don't want this anymore. No, don't touch me. And you see, what is the point of religious channels subscribing to my channel now? In any way, is this a religious question, an issue, a religious issue? It is not a religious issue, my friend. Don't come subscribing to my channel or to whatever else I do, love bombing me, because I know this tactic. You don't fool me anymore. And don't come with this, because this is not a religious issue. I'm very well in my religion, in my spiritual life. And because I'm a victim of narcissistic abuse, you want to try to exploit me, subscribing to my channel or getting in contact with me in my house. This is not a religious issue, my friend. This is a mental health issue. Let's keep things where they are. We don't need no religion here. We don't need no religious talk here. You mind your business. Stay away from survivors if you respect them. Because the God that I knew and the God that I had faith with, He doesn't come approaching victims, love bombing them, so that they feel obliged to respond. The God, true God that I knew, is a God who gives you freedom, who stays and waits patiently for you. And if you don't come, or if you disagree with Him, He treats you with love, and He doesn't unsubscribe to your channel, and the significant point, He doesn't leave you a dislike button in your channel. He doesn't feel angry. The God, the true God that I knew, loves His sons and His daughters, He's not angry because you disagree with him. He is just always with open arms waiting for us. And if your church does not represent this God that stays on his place waiting for us until we are ready, and do not love bomb us or pursue us like a social predator, if this is not your God, then you are a false believer. You believe in a false God, and I don't respect your church, your religion, or what you think, or what this is what you call, or I don't respect this that you call religion. God is not abusive. And now that I disagreed, the mask falls and they show their true colors and their true intentions. Religious people and churches love bombs you. They are sociopaths in the form of organized churches. If these churches are not ran by sociopaths or psychopaths or narcissists and everybody, mentally you crazy people, they use tactics, unfair tactics, manipulation tactics, tactics used by con artists to run their churches. That's how they operate. They operate in a narcissistic, in a psychopathic mindset. And you don't fool me anymore. Like it or not, I see this. I don't trust religions now. My relationship with God is my business. And I'm here to tell the truth of someone who was psychologically, emotionally abused. And I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to use to put a wool over my wolf's face here. No, 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 no. I'm here to tell the truth. I'm not getting money out of this. If you want to watch it, you watch it. If you don't want to watch it, that's your business. I'm here to tell what I see, what my intuition sees. And what I see is churches who operate in psychopathic mindsets. They are very good to you in the beginning, but if you disagree with them, it's a big fuck you. Any church that does not support your free thinking, your freedom to think for yourself, and any church who comes love bombing you is representing a God that has no self-esteem, because the true God that I believed that has a good self-esteem, he doesn't come pursuing followers, and he doesn't pursue you love bombing you. He thinks really highly of himself to wait for you with open arms. And he is a forgiving God. And the ones who follow him in truth, they become mirrors of the true God, so they are patient and they wait. They don't cross boundaries. But if this church, whatever church, any church, who doesn't encourage you to think for yourself, to put yourself first, is not a healthy church, is not teaching you good things about your good health and a healthy God. Because a good church would teach you about putting yourself first and then the church. this is what is good for me, this is what I think, and this is my opinion, I respect your opinion, and that's it. And that church disagrees with you, but attacks you. Okay, disagreeing is normal. But attacking because you think differently, this is morbid. This is unhealthy. And you know there is a morbid God. A God that is irrational. That is called, in the Catholic tradition, this God that is morbid and ill is called Satan. And if churches are mentally ill like this, irrational, there is no true God in those churches, my friends. Another thing I want to talk about. If people in cults and in churches approaches narcissism victims and survivors after the abuse happened, that's because there's something in it for them. There's something there for them. They don't act without any interest, hidden agenda behind their actions. Why didn't they warn us about mentally ill people before? Why don't they teach about psychopathy and narcissism in their churches? Because they don't want us to see the way in they operate, which is precisely narcissistic and psychopathic. Because if my Catholic Church had taught me about narcissism and to be aware of narcissism and psychopathy in order not to commit adultery, in order not to fall in love with con artists who pretend to be in love with you and control you to the point that to convince you to commit adultery against your own beliefs. This church failed us. This church is a failed church. Is a bankrupt, a corrupt church. Now, after I am abused, hurt, crying in the darkness, and then comes the churches and cults with the promise of the magical cure for my pain as a survivor and as a victim. And you know who loves to present themselves as a magic cure for my pain and my wounds? The narcissists from my past, the borderline personality disorder people, the character disturbed people, the antisocial personality disordered people, narcissistic personality disordered people, they want to present themselves as the magic cure with love bombing and rushing to convince me to join them. And also these cults, these churches, Protestants, Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholics, and Freemasons, and the rest I don't know. Okay, you have also pre-Freemason organizations. You have the Rotary Club, you have the Lions Club, lots of things. But this is where my experience ends, so I cannot talk about anything else here. There is no magic cure, and survivors are now very aware of those tactics. They are owed to us, they are dirty to us, and if you want to be respected by narcissistic abuse survivors, you better show us that you have faith in a true God, powerful God who has self-esteem, who doesn't pursue followers and love bomb followers. Thanks for your time.